Hi, I'm Jan Reim and welcome to Bring Designs. In this video I'll show you how to assemble our player book. We will be using specifically the Paladin, however don't worry, all of the player books are exactly the same except for the engraving on the front and on the spine. For this assembly you will need the following: a thin, sharp knife to separate the pieces from the sprue, some good quality wood glue. I would not recommend super glue as MDF generally does not work well with that. A surface to put your glue on and an old brush to apply your glue. I'll also recommend the following: some water to clean your brush. Some builds tend to get a bit long and gunking up your glue brush is not a good idea. Small clamps or rubber bands to keep parts together as the glue is drying. And a small file or some sandpaper to clean some of the joints as they need to fit together quite tightly.
The player book is a more complex build with several parts that look similar. There are also certain aspects of this build that needs to be done before moving on to the next part. Take care to not skip ahead before each part is complete. We start off with assembling the dice tower as a separate part. There are 3 parts that has a circle with a square inside of them. Part number 11. Be careful with these parts as they are the insides of the hinges and form an integral part of the build. Without these, the final result will not work correctly. Once the dice tower part is complete, you can set it aside to dry. This will make assembly down the line a little easier. The next part is the area that houses your miniatures. This is where things can become a little complicated, as there are several parts that look very similar. Pay close attention to the parts needed, as putting one part in the wrong place will result in a product that you cannot complete. When gluing the hinges, be careful to not get glue into any of the moving parts. There are a few parts, such as parts 19, 20 and 22, that are there to help keep components in place to make the assembly a little easier. At this point I would recommend allowing all of the glue to fully dry. This will greatly assist the rest of the assembly process. When assembling the miniature tray, take care to clean off all of the tabs that held it onto the rest of the components and ensure you glue it as tightly as possible. There isn't a lot of space where the tray slides in. It will wear in better over time. Check to see that all of the hinges work properly. If they feel a little sticky, you might have gotten glue into the hinge. It would be best to take it apart with the glue still wet and clean those joints. This is another good point to take a break and allow the glue to dry before moving on. Part 27 will differ depending on which class of player book you bought. For the video we used the Paladin, but other classes work exactly the same. When you are done, ensure that all of the moving parts can move. They might seem a little bit stiff at first, but they will wear in very quickly. The moving parts are as follows. The latch on the front should move side to side. The book must be able to open and the one side stands about upright. The door should be able to slot out, revealing the miniature tray, and the miniature tray should be able to slide in and out.